Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to lecture number 11 of Software Design and Architecture. I am your course instructor Fahad Anwar. So students, before we start our today lecture discussion, I would like to give you a little bit recap about our last lecture. So students, if you remember what we studied in our last lecture, we see design process activity with the help of a real world case study, null space game shooter, in which we see the different activities like architectural design, abstract specification, interface, component, data structure, and the algorithm design. We discuss all these design process activities with the help of null space game shooter example to get a better idea about the details involved in these specific design activities, and we briefly and comprehensively discuss these design activities with the help of some real world example null game space shooter. I hope so students, all of you will go through from the last lecture as well, and you hope so you will understand it very well. And now let's start our today's lecture discussion. So students, the our objective of today's lecture is to discuss a two-part process of design, and then we discuss a software design in general term with respect to conceptual design and technical design as well. And I will provide you some differences between the conceptual design and the technical design in a software design generally. And then we discuss how architecture is earlier than the detailed design. We also discuss this architecture how is early. We will also go some into more details in this lecture as well. And then we see the different architecture challenges currently being faced in the design process, which we also call the influences of architectural challenges as well. And then the most important topic is architecture business cycle, and we see what is architecture business cycle, and we also discuss this business cycle with the help of diagram as well. And the last we see how architecture, what architectural activities are actually involved in architecture business cycle. So students, here is a brief overview of our today's lecture agenda. So students, let's start our today's lecture discussion. So the first one is design a two-part process. So students, you can see that on the most left side the what part, and the most right side is the how part. So basically what part we also call a conceptual design, where we also call it a requirement analysis and gathering phase. So as I said you earlier, basically there is a problem domain and there is a solution domain. In problem domain, which tells us what the system will do. We will not directly jump into the detail how the system will perform different functions. There are two different notions in the design, what part and the how part. And design part actually bridges the gap between the problem domain and the solution domain. In the what part, we actually concern with the what kind of services are actually demanded by the customers, which are usually carried by the requirement analysis and gathering phase. So here we only concerned with the what the system will do. We will not go into more detail how the system will perform its functions. What part is separate and how part is separate. What part is actually concerned with the problem domain, and how part is actually concerned with the solution domain. In what part we will only discuss what the system will do, and the how part we will provide solution to the problem, and it's a solution domain. And design actually bridges the gap between the what part and the how part. So architecture is the first artifact in the design process which actually bridges this two part process or two gap between the customer and the system builders. So basically in this diagram of designers actually shows that how conceptual design is actually implemented in the technical design. In conceptual design we only concerned with what the system will do, and while in the technical design we are concerned with how the actual system will build, how the system will perform its functions. We are more conscious towards the solution part, while in the what part we are more conscious toward the what the system will do, like requirement analysis phase, requirement gathering phase, which ultimately will produces the SRS document, which actually serves as the first artifact in the architectural diagram, which serves which actually provide as a line and boxes diagram. So ultimately we can conclude from this slide is that what part is or conceptual design is actually concerned with the problem domain, what the actually problem is, and the what the system will do, and while the how part is actually about the solution part or the solution domain. So where we also discuss the technical design, in what part we will concern with the what the system will do, and the how part we actually concerned with how the system will perform its functions and how the system will actually build. And the design process actually bridges the two process between the problem domain and the solution domain. So in this slide we see how the designers actually bridges a gap between the problem domain and in the solution domain as well. So you can also say that this design process actually bridges the gap between the customer needs and the system builders, how the customer requirements will be fulfilled. So now students, let's see the general software design in terms of conceptual design and technical design. I am not talking about here the architectural design or detailed design. Basically software design has two more phases: software architecture and software detailed design. Here I am talking about a general software design in a nutshell, where we see the conceptual design and the technical design. Here are few differences I listed here. Basically in the conceptual design we actually concerned with where our data is coming from, while in the technical design we are more conscious toward the hardware level configurations. And in the conceptual design we will actually concerned with what will happen to data in the system, what will happen with the data in the system. While if you see on the technical side we are actually concerned about the software needs, like what kind of services, what kind of utilities, what kind of requirements or constraints are the needs of software as well. While in the conceptual design we are concerned with the look and feel requirements, like how the system will look to the user, what kind of interface will it have, what kind of look and feel requirements will be discussed in the conceptual design. While in the technical design is actually concerned about the communication between different interfaces involved in the design. So in the conceptual design we actually concerned about the what kind of services or choices will be given to the users, like what kind of menus, navigation control will be provided to the users. While on the technical design we are actually concerned about how the input and output to the system will be provided through this design. So we can say that we are in the conceptual design we are more conscious toward the what kind of services are actually being provided to users, while in the technical design we are actually concerned about how the user will avail these services by interacting through input and output of the system. So you have to clearly about these two, conceptual and technical design. And now in the if we go into more details, actually in conceptual design we are actually concerned about the timing of events, like there are different event handlers, like what kind of event will be performed while pressing a particular button or through a different navigation controls, what kind of event handling is being performed is also a part of conceptual design. And in the technical design we are also concerned about the network architecture, what kind of network architecture will be there according to the organizational needs, different stakeholder needs. All of these will be the factors to choose a right network architecture based on the stakeholder requirements as well. And now the last part is in the conceptual design we are also concerned about how will the reports and screens look like how the different forms will be displayed and how the screens will look like, how the different navigation controls, different buttons, different screen pop-up menus will be show off to the user in the conceptual design. And in the technical design anything like which can be translated from mapping the requirements in the solution to the customer problem, all of these kind of issues will be discussed in technical design, and the conceptual design is also listed here. So students, in this slide we comprehensively look over the different to distinguish between these two terms, the conceptual design and the technical design. So इसके अलावा और भी काफ़ी सारे डिफरेंसेस हैं, बट दीज 6 7 आर द मोस्ट बेसिक डिफरेंसेस टू अंडरस्टैंड द नोशन ऑफ conceptual design and the technical design. I hope so students you will understand, you have been understand about these two terms, about the conceptual design and the technical design. So let's move into more deeper detail. Architecture is early. So what does it mean? Students, we also discussed this concept earlier, but now here we will go into more deeper details. Architecture is earlier than the design. Here you can see that architecture is the first artifact of the design which actually maps from the requirement analysis phase, and we also utilizes a line and boxes diagram to produce an initial level architecture. So architecture is earlier than the design, as you can see in this diagram as well. Architecture is actually concerned about the non-functional requirements, and the design is or detailed design is actually concerned about the functional requirements, and these non-functional requirements are hard to measure and hard to achieve. So architecture actually provides a quality level different attributes to the system as well. And this diagram actually shows us architecture is earlier than the design. First we build the architecture from the SRS document, and at this point we establish a different quality attributes which will be ultimately be achieved in the future system, and then the detailed design part is actually start. So here is about the how architecture is early is being discussed in this slide. And now students, architecture is early. So because architecture is early, so there is so students, you must remember one thing. Because architecture is actually concerned with the non-functional requirements which are hard to change and most critical to get right. इनको चेंज करना भी बहुत मुश्किल है, और इनको इन नॉन फंक्शनल रिक्वायरमेंट्स को एट्रीब्यूट्स को अचीव भी करना बहुत मुश्किल है किसी भी सिस्टम के अंदर. सो मोस्टली फंक्शनल रिक्वायरमेंट्स आर मोर ईजिएस्ट टू अचीव, वेल नॉन फंक्शनल रिक्वायरमेंट्स और क्वालिटी एट्रीब्यूट्स आर द मोस्ट डिफिकल्ट थिंग टू अचीव इन अ प्रोजेक्ट. एंड द मोर क्वालिटी एट्रीब्यूट एनी प्रोजेक्ट हैव विल हायर इट्स कॉस्ट. सो आर्किटेक्चर इज़ द फर्स्ट डिज़ाइन आर्टिफैक्ट where a system quality attributes are addressed, which we also call a non-functional requirements. So till here we can see that architecture is earlier than the detailed design, where we actually concerned about the quality level attributes like reliability, availability, portability, maintainability. All of these kind of attributes are the non-functional requirements which we also call a quality attributes. Any design or architecture having more quality attributes will higher its cost as well. So students, let's move towards our more technical discussion. Architecture business cycle. So what it is? So basically there are four major factors that affect any architecture business cycle. Like you can see that these are the four major factors which influence any architecture, like system stakeholders, developing organization, architect backgrounds and experience in a particular domain level projects, and the technical environment. We will discuss all these four level of for influence levels of architecture business cycle in more detail in next slide. So let's move here. So here student is a diagram of architecture business cycle. So let's get the more details about this business cycle. So students, so first you need to understand about the architecture business cycle. So basically architecture business cycle is a description of a system which is used to represent the relationship among structures, components of the system to the environment in which the system is developed and implemented, which is called architecture business cycle. So what kind of relationship? Like the relationship among different business goals, like product requirements, like architecture form a cycle with feedback loops and used to handle growth and system growth. All of these are the architecture business cycle. So students, if you look into the architecture business cycle, on the top left side there are some architecture influences like stakeholders, developing organizations, technical environment, and architect experience. We will discuss these four influence in more details, and you can see that the architect get its feedback, or its architect is actually influenced by these four factors, which ultimately helps to form a architect, and it eventually goes into the environment. And once the environment changes, these four influences will also change, which ultimately also affects the architecture, and this process goes so on, and which forms the architecture business cycle. So students, let's move towards the more discussion about this architecture business cycle. So students, basically the goal of any organization is to develop an architecture business cycle which actually generate from the requirements. Then uh, these based on these requirements, an architecture is generated, and then based on this architecture, ultimately a system is generated. So we can say that the architecture flows from the architecture experience and the technical environment as well. So students, let's goes into more details about this architecture business cycle. Like we can say that software architecture is a result of technical, business, and social influences as well. Like these are in a turn affected by the software architecture itself. Like you can see that this cycle of influences from the environment to the architecture, like you can see that how the it goes from environment to the architecture, and it is coming back to the environment, is called the architecture cycle, architecture business cycle. So what does it mean? सो स्टूडेंट्स, आप देख सकते हैं कि ये जो आर्किटेक्चर का बिजनेस साइकिल है, इसके फोर मोस्ट बेसिक आर्किटेक्चर इन्फ्लुएंसेस है, जिस जो आर्किटेक्चर को इफ़ेक्ट करता है, जो आर्किटेक्ट्स को अपनी इनपुट देता है, उस बेस के ऊपर आर्किटेक्ट डेवलप करता है अपने सिस्टम को, जिसके अंदर स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं, डेवलपिंग ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं, टेक्निकल इन्वायरमेंट हैं, और आर्किटेक्ट का बैकग्राउंड और वट एवर जो भी उसका एक्सपीरियंस है। तो ये जो आर्किटेक्चर बिजनेस साइकिल है, ये जनरेट कहाँ से होता है? रिक्वायरमेंट से। और फिर जो ये रिक्वायरमेंट है, ये जनरेट करती हैं आर्किटेक्चर को, और फिर वो जो आर्किटेक्चर है वो अल्टीमेटली क्या जनरेट करता है? सिस्टम को। तो आप देख सकते हैं कि ये जो आर्किटेक्चर है, एक्चुअली इट गेट्स इनपुट फ्रॉम दीज फोर आर्किटेक्चर इन्फ्लुएंसेस, एज दीज फोर perspective of the influence will be changed, ultimately our architect will also be changed, because it also goes, our architecture is also goes back into the environment, where it actually influences by these four factors: stakeholders, developing organizations, technical environment, and the architecture experience. And eventually when the system will complete, it also goes back into the environment, where, because students, you have to remember one thing: whenever a system will be installed in an environment, as the environment constantly being changed, like 2 year ago you have some different requirements, after 1 year you will have some different requirement, as because the environment is constantly being changed, so your architecture will never be the same. So because architecture is influenced with these four factors, so our architecture will also be changed. So vice versa, this process is called the architecture business cycle. So students, let's discuss more details about this architecture influences about the stakeholders. So students, what are the stakeholders? You will study it a lot of time. Stakeholders basically are the anybody who is directly or indirectly affected by the system. Like stakeholders can be customer, end user, developers, project managers, maintenance, or you can say that anyone, like even it can be the any person who is directly or indirectly affected by the system. So it is all about the stakeholders. And the next one is that developing organizations. So students, what is that developing organizations? So you should remember one thing, students, like organizational goals expressed through always requirements. जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के जितने भी गोल्स हैं वो रिक्वायरमेंट के थ्रू ही एक्सप्रेस किए जाते हैं. सो एन आर्किटेक्चर इज इन्फ्लुएंस्ड बाय द स्ट्रक्चर और नेचर ऑफ द developing organization. For example, like if the organization has a wealth in client server communication based architecture, then this organization will use a client server architecture because it has this expertise in this architecture. If this organization have not expertise in this client server architecture, this organization or a developing organization will reject it instantly, because they don't have staff skills for this kind of projects as well. So there are the developing organization factors, influences factors as well there. And the next perspective is technical environment. So students, what is a technical environment? Basically, we can say that the technical environment is all about what kind of tools will be used by the used by the system, or used by the programmers or engineers to develop a system. Like we can use a web-based project, or what kind of middlewares, like what kind of supported design will be used for the implementation of our system. It's all about the technical environment, what kind of tools, what kind of techniques. Like we either we are using a web-based project or a object-oriented programming, or it's a desktop-based applications. It's all about the technical environment. Our architecture is also influenced by the technical environment as well. And the last perspective is the architect experience and its background as well. So before we formalizing our architect is also influenced by the architecture background experience, like what kind of project is already being completed by the architecture, what kind of domain expertise our architect have. It is also an important factor. So ultimately these four influences: stakeholders, developing organizations, technical environment, and the architecture's background experience, all of these four influences ultimately influence on the our final architecture, which ultimately goes back into the environment where the system will be installed or it will be utilized. And once the will be installed into the environment, the requirements are constantly being changed. So these factors will ultimately give its feedback to the architecture to change in its architecture. So this process will be goes into vice versa. So all of this process ultimately we call the architecture business cycle. So students, I hope so you will be understand about the architecture business cycle. In the last slide we will also discuss what kind of different activities are actually involved in this architecture business cycle. So till here we see how these four influences actually being used in this architecture business cycle. So let's move towards the next slide. Here is there are different architect challenges as well, or you can say the influences of stakeholders as well. Like there are different stakeholders, as I said earlier. Like it can be a management team, like it can be a marketing personnel, like it can be end users who are interacting with the system, like it can be a maintenance team, or it can be a customer of stakeholder as well. So students, these are the different influences through stakeholders which actually affects the architectures. So whatever our architecture is, when our architect is going to build our architect, it also need to address the concerns of these stakeholder as well. Like development, organizational management will have a low cost product is demanding, and from the marketing stakeholder, like need feature based or short time to market project is demanding, and end user require more quality attributes like performance, security, etc. And maintenance team is most conscious towards the modifiability, like there are different type of maintenance as well. And the last one is customer, which actually mainly concerned about the our ultimately system will be low cost, like timely delivery, not changed very often. So all of these stakeholders give their influences or give their inputs to the architect. So here we can say that architect of the system need to overcome these issues of individual stakeholders to address these issues or these requirements in its architecture as well. So we can conclude that the job of architect is very challenging because it need to address all the concerns or influences of the stakeholders. So the job of architecture is not an easy task. So on the last, there are different architectural activities which are actually being utilized in the architecture business cycle. So let's discuss these different activities. So students, in architecture business cycle there are different activities. Like first one is the creating the business case for the system. So what does it mean? In this business case we actually concerned about like हमें सिस्टम की ज़रूरत क्यों है, इसकी कॉस्ट क्या होगी, when it will be delivered to the market, और इसकी हम इंटीग्रेशन इन एग्जिस्टिंग सिस्टम के साथ कैसे करेंगे. All of these concerns are actually addressed in this business case for the system. And the next one is understanding of the requirement. Like हम अपनी requirements को understand कैसे करेंगे, requirement को gather कैसे करेंगे, what kind of approach will be used, like we use a questionnaire, surveys, prototyping. All of these kind of will be utilized in the understanding of requirements. And the next is creating and selecting the architecture, the most important aspect. Like what kind of architecture pattern or style will be used. Either we will be use the existing one, or we will be build a new architecture or pattern from a scratch. It all depends upon the requirements of the stakeholder needs. And next is the communicating the architecture, how well we communicate our architecture, like how to inform all stakeholders in the SDLC phases, like developers, testers, like how well we aware about our architecture which are being used in our system, is how we can inform all stakeholders in our system, like developers, tester, managers. It's all about the communicating the architecture among different stakeholders, like how well our architecture is documented is actually discussed in this communicating the architecture activities. And the next one is analyzing or evaluating the architecture. Actually in this we evaluate the candidate design, where we see how architecture maps the stakeholder requirement needs or not. तो evaluating architecture के अंदर हम क्या देखते हैं कि जो हमारा आर्किटेक्चर है क्या वो एग्जैक्टली हमारे स्टेक होल्डर की रिक्वायरमेंट को, ज़रूरियात को एग्जैक्टली मैप भी कर रहा है या नहीं कर रहा। इसके अंदर हम अपने आर्किटेक्चर को एक्चुअली इवेलुएट करते हैं अगेंस्ट द यूज़र रिक्वायरमेंट्स और नीड्स। एंड देन एट द लास्ट हम अपने इम्प्लीमेंटेशन कर देते हैं बेस्ड ऑन आवर आर्किटेक्चर जो हमने सेलेक्ट किया, उस बेस के ऊपर हम इम्प्लीमेंटेशन की तरफ मूव ऑन कर जाते हैं। एंड एट द एंड एंड द लास्ट एक्टिविटी ऑफ आवर बिजनेस साइकिल इज़ कि वी हैव टू इंश्योर आइदर वी आर अचीविंग द कस्टमर नीड्स or its requirements in our architecture or not. So this one we also call ensuring conformance to an architecture. So students, still here these are the different activities which are being used in the architecture business cycle. So student, this cycle of influences from the environment to the architecture and back to the environment, we call this is the architecture business cycle. And these are the different activities which are actually being performed in the architecture business cycle. So student, till here our lecture number 11 is ended.